Kayaks.
Episode 837, Brain Candy Podcast. Sarah's wearing denim.
I am, with a little, peekaboo zipper. Woo!
Ooh, I do love a
Suze,
zip.
And I love a vest, because you were inspiring me with your cute clothes. And I was like, I need to update my wardrobe. I actually need to purchase some new items of clothing.
You weren't keeping up with the times?
Right. I have not been. It was like things like throw out the dingy white shirts that are now gray that have stains on them. So I took a few of those to camp and tie-dyed them, so now they're nice tie-dyed shirts.
Yeah,
but I
that's
also
good.
did buy myself some.
I'm realizing, though, that people get rid of clothes a lot faster than I do. I like to keep
me
stuff
too.
for a really long time, and evidently 3 years people think is a long time.
Oh, no. I'm I still have clothes that I wore in the real world house.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And I hate to admit this, but some of them are Forever 21. And so my friends and I call it vintage F21. It's like vintage Forever 21. Because there's a quality that's just better from vintage Forever 21.
You're actually testing if it will last forever.
And
I'll see about that.
So I have a few sweaters that are still going strong. And I remember that is my sweater from when I was on the Real World. And that has been many, many, many years.
Wow. Sarah can even slow down fast fashion. That is impressive.
Yeah.
But we're in the minority. I think most people are like, oh, I wore this last year. Goodbye.
No,
what?
no. And I am a big fan of taking a look at your closet and seeing how you can add a modern twist to some of the things.
You're very creative.
You have to take it up as a hobby, though. I've had to actually look at, fashion influencers and go on Pinterest and be like, what is even out there? What do I want to wear that's not just jeans and a camp shirt?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for some old broads like us.
Right. And it is out there. Yeah. And I went out, I have not gone out in so long. And I went out with some friends, this was 2 weeks ago now. And we went to a bar for happy hour. And I was like, it feels so good to be out because I need to see what the youths are wearing. I need to see.
You said that when I took you to a graduation party one time.
Did I?
Was like, wow, I never even thought of that. Yeah. You were like, okay.
I need to know what the youths are wearing. And I'm like, okay, I see the socks I've got to get. I see the look.
It seems to be all about socks with these people.
It is about socks. It is not, we're not showing ankles. But I will say I came home from camp with some questionable tan lines.
Exactly.
And I'm like, this is what I get. Is this what you wanted?
Yeah, what's the solution
look like
to
I'm wearing
that?
little booties all the time?
Gen Z.
What is the solution?
Right.
They're going to be like, oh, you should be covering up and not exposing yourself to sun or something. I don't know.
Even when let's say you wear a real short dress, though, and then you're wearing heels. You can't wear socks with that.
No, they would not have you in heels.
Yes.
You're not wearing heels.
I think they're back on the heels, Sarah. I was just asking a youngster the other day. I'm like, are you going to wear to prom and homecoming those comfy shoes with the cute dress? And she was like, no, I'm not sure that's in anymore.
Oh, my God. I can't even keep up. I just retired the heels, so now I got to dust those babies off again?
I don't know. That's the rumor on the street.
Oh, my God. Can we just make Crocs come back and just wear those all the time?
Listen, that's timeless right there.
I feel better in those, comfortable footwear.
You listen, maybe now that you're menopausal, you'll move into that, orthopedics.
Oh, Suze, I'm already there.
Yeah.
I'm getting
just
fitted
own
for
that.
Yeah. So I did get good news from the, what are they called? Physical therapist person who said, you can keep wearing your flat bottom shoes and you can keep wearing your Birkenstocks and sandals. You don't have to go into the orthopedics. You just have to do those ankle exercises. Okay,
Are you trying to tell me that the flat bottom shoe and whatever else you said, Birkenstocks,
yes,
are the problem is lack of arch support?
Yeah, and in flip-flops and shoes that don't have a back on them, your toes do this kind of grippy thing. They curl. And so they said you want a lot of toe spread.
Shut up.
Yes.
They should change that phrase.
They should. But toe spread is what we're looking for.
What does that mean?
Like a big toe box. So you'll feel it. Are you wearing shoes right now?
No, actually, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm bare.
Yeah.
Look, Wiki Feet. Watch the video.
Look at those piggies. Ooh.
Look at those.
Not safe for work content.
Right. OnlyFans preview right there.
Like, you can feel it if you put your feet on the ground and you try to spread your toes really wide and, like, make connection with your pinky toe and the big toe on the ground.
What's good about that?
That's like a correct posture.
Whoa.
Yeah, it feels like you're going to fall forward when you're in the actual correct posture.
How
it's
could
like,
that be right? That's wild.
because our shoes are doing things to our feet and cramming them in there, and
Dang.
our shoes are not helping our feet.
Wow. F you,
Yeah.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I love them though.
You
told
get
me I
toes
could keep
spread in a
wearing them.
crock or what?
I mean, yeah, when you put it in sport mode, you can do anything in a crock.
Did you say sport or support?
Sport mode. You know when you put the back on, you get a little strap going.
Is that what just you call it?
No, other people have called it this. I wish
I've
I were
never
clever
heard
enough.
that.
Oh, but I like to be the first one to bring that to you.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Sport mode is when the back is on.
Yes.
Flipped up. Like.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, like off-roading, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, oh my gosh, she's writing it down. That wasn't even one of the fun stories that I have for
I
you
gotta
today.
ask Link about that.
Yeah, I have so much fun stuff to talk about.
Well, yeah, because you've been abandoning me at your cult camp, which
I have been.
it was really hard for me while you were away.
I'm so sorry.
I don't
I'm
like
sorry
it at
I
all.
didn't have good internet connection in the woods. There was only
But
one
you did
place that
have
we
a
could go to.
BEAR.
I did. Yep. I did make sure that I sent you that video. I wanted to show you that because you were like, no way do you see a bear every year at camp. And I'm like, Susie,
It's one of those
every
pests.
year without fail. And this year was the first year I slept in a tent outside. So, and mine was the first in the row of tents next to me, so it felt like if a bear was going to come,
Oh
they were
my
going to be
God.
sniffing around my tent first. So every day I was very diligent about making sure I didn't have any pieces of candy in my backpack or anything like that, no
Holy
wrappers.
crap.
Because I'm also the person that all the kids can go to and trade in 10 pieces of trash for a piece of candy or a crock charm or a temporary tattoo, because I'm trying to teach people to not litter, and the kids love that, and it always works. We have the cleanest camp because of this. But because of that, I'm the one carrying around candy wrappers and weird stuff. And
Yeah,
like,
you're a sacrificial lamb.
yeah. And then one day we were doing, we had a Renaissance fair and we did a cotton candy machine, and I was working the cotton candy machine, and that stuff goes everywhere. So I made sure, I was scared to even have my clothes from the cotton candy machine
I'll say.
activity in my tent. I put those in the mess hall because I'm like, I got to make sure.
Why the hell
no
they
bears.
have you out in a tent? Why didn't you just put you on the grill and call the bear over? Good
Well, I will
God.
say, sleeping, I have a wonderful, like, outdoor air mattress, like sleeping, you know, it was great. I slept in it's more comfortable to sleep in the tent and have like my own room than to sleep in those cabins with the mattresses that are like plastic and they make a noise every time you roll over on them. And it's like the wood beds, my feet practically dangle off the ends. I am done.
Wow.
After the real world and the challenge, I am not sleeping in a bunk bed anymore.
No,
No,
those days are over.
ma'am. Those days are over. So
Listen,
I will
you'd
sleep in
rather
a
put
tent.
yourself out there for a bear.
Yes.
Than that's how bad this is.
That's how bad it is. And
I
it just
get it.
like takes me back, flashbacks to being in the real world house and the challenge house.
Did you really have him in your real world house?
I keep saying real world. We didn't have
Okay.
him in there.
I was gonna
But it was
say.
still a twin bed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm like, I sleep on at least a queen.
yeah.
I'm
mean,
an adult.
Yeah, you're a lady.
And I need half the bed for my laundry before I fold it and put it away, which is what's happening right now on my bed.
Oh, that is the worst part about coming back from anywhere.
Yeah,
It's
and
just,
the
like,
dirt.
never-ending.
There's camping in California is dusty. There's just a layer of dirt
Mm-hmm.
that is on. That is not. I don't know what happens to the terrain. It's something. I'm sure it's geological, and anybody with a background in geology could explain this to me.
Yeah.
But it is not like that after you cross over the Rocky Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
It is like clean and nice, but you're just home with like a layer of dust. I would take off my socks, and like Pigpen from Charlie Brown, it would just like be a layer of like a poof, a cloud of dust that would come off of anything that
Man,
I removed. I'm like, ugh, you just feel gross.
I'm so glad you survived.
But it was great. I love it so much. And
I was going to ask you if you took any mosh bars and kept them in your tent, but I guess not.
I didn't keep them in the tent. I had a little cubby in the mess hall, but I absolutely lived on mosh bars because let me tell you, camp breakfasts, not good.
Shut up.
Not powdered eggs is not for me. Like it's like little kid cafeteria food, you know? And I just couldn't do it.
No thanks.
And I knew I was just like, I need protein, I need energy, I need the good stuff. So I thank God, brought one for every day.
That was really smart.
I know.
That could have saved your life. I'm glad no bear got their paws on it. These are so good. They're good for you. They support your brain health, and they give money to fund research on women's Alzheimer's and women's other healthcare issues, which we love. Mm-hmm. But these are packed with ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, omega-3s, and they taste so good. All the flavors. I can't pick a favorite. I go through like different phases. You will be so into them because, you know, there's a lot of competition. Well, no other ones will stand up to these. If you want ways to give back to others and fuel your body and your brain, Mosh Bars are the perfect choice for you. Head to moshlife.com/braincandy to save 20% off, plus free shipping on either the bestsellers trial pack or the new plant-based trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on either the bestsellers or plant-based trial pack at moshlife.com/braincandy. Thank you, Mosh, for sponsoring this episode. And thank you, Brainiacs, for always going to our website and finding those codes and the links and getting deals. It helps us so much.
Yes, we love you. Okay, that's actually a really nice segue because one of the things that I wanted to talk about is related to dementia and brain health.
Yes, that's so like 3 stories in my list.
Okay,
I
wonder
why.
if you have heard the same story.
Tell me.
This is, and I might have sent this to you because I read this story or study, really, and was like, Susie is going to feel so much better after knowing this.
Let's hope so, because the other week I was really stressed, and I felt like I was not remembering stuff, and that's, like, scary to me, you know, because of our fears about early onset.
Absolutely. Susie, I came back from camp, and I went to the grocery store, and I came home with 3 bags of groceries. Then, 10 minutes after coming home, I was like, where are my groceries? I had already unloaded them.
Whoa.
And I forgot. I was like running around doing a bunch of things, checking off a bunch of stuff on the to-do list. And I did not have a memory of putting those into.
See, that's the kind of thing.
Like, it was so automatic. You know, you come home. It's the stuff that you don't really think about that then is just not getting stored.
Yeah, and it freaks me out.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
So I took a test online. They have cognitive tests to see if you maybe have a problem.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I was like, thank God. It was like measures, like it just shows you a bunch, picture. And then if you see a one that you already saw, you have to quickly go and click on it. And they time like your ability
your reaction.
And recall. And it goes and goes and goes. And you're like, please don't let me have it. And I was all right.
Okay.
But that's really weird that we're all reading about dementia and everything.
Yeah. Well, I think because we're learning more about it, we're starting to
that's good
discover
news.
The maybe barriers and protective factors and also the maybe like the causes or the areas of the brain that are affected by it.
Yeah, it's very mysterious though too.
It's
interesting to read about.
Mysterious. So this sheds some light and gives us a lot of information. Have you heard about the nun study?
No.
Okay. So the nun study is a longitudinal study that began in 1986, and it focuses on the cognitive and neurological aging of elderly Catholic nuns. So they were able to take, because of, I don't know, it was probably something that the nuns signed, they were able to keep all of their brains for science.
Okay.
And so I think it's at Notre Dame, the brains were from 700 nuns from the school the School Sisters of Notre Dame. So I don't know where that is, but and I think it's in the United States where they house all of these brains. So,
well, maybe they're from Notre Dame then. Notre Dame.
Yeah, I should say it like that. Notre Dame.
I don't know where these nuns.
Yeah,
because I'm like, if they're in America, it's probably Notre Dame.
Yeah,
if
it's probably the school, Notre Dame. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
So they looked at all of their brains, and all of the participants of the study, also starting in 1986, went through regular cognitive assessments throughout their life. So this included testing mental abilities and documenting their life experiences and educational backgrounds. And so when they died, their brains were examined for any signs, like pathological signs of Alzheimer's disease or any other neurological conditions. And they were able to observe different brain lesions in areas, plaque associated with dementia, kind of all the things that we're now learning more about and studying more. But the thing that was really interesting, that was what they saw in the study when they went back and looked at the
what
things
if you just
that they've
suddenly
created.
Forgot what you were talking about right now?
What?
What if
Did you say?
All of a sudden
what if
forgot
I forgot what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Luckily, I do remember this one, and I know this one. I'm just trying to word it correctly.
Okay, good.
That they looked at the writings and the things the documents that these nuns had created when they were much younger. So they looked at, when they joined the convent, what do you join? The nunnery convent. They all wrote like a story about, like a history about themselves. They wrote like a little passage explaining like who they are. And they found that the more complex the linguistics were in those early letters, the less signs of dementia they had. That there were these protective factors, and it really showed that there may be even people that had the plaque and the lesion, like brain lesions, or
like they have evidence of the disease, but they don't have the manifestation.
Yes, but they didn't have the symptoms, and it didn't show up in a way that affected their day-to-day way of being.
Yeah.
So it showed that these kind of linguistic skills and the ability to like basically speak well and write well.
Do you think there's any chance that it's just that it's better hidden? Because if you start up here,
right,
and
that's
you
it.
decline,
yes,
okay, so they're declining, but then they just become regular.
Yes, they're starting from a higher place. That if we develop those kind of skills and we use our brain and really, it shows kind of the strength of like neuroplasticity, that you can use the brain to get you to a place that then, even with those
with the degradation,
yes, with the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's, you won't experience the symptoms because you're starting at a higher place.
I hope that's true.
And I think about the way that you write and the kind of things and how well practiced we are in speaking. I mean, maybe
That's
me,
true,
not so much
Sarah.
this episode. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today.
We're out of practice.
But
and P.S. Is your air conditioning back cooking? What's going on?
It is not
because
cooking.
you don't seem hot over there, and I'm sweating like a pig over here.
It is. I got a portable AC unit that I keep going, and then I just shut off when we record, and that's doing the job for now. It takes up so much space, but it's going to cost me like $600 to replace it, but
Sarah's dragging her feet.
They are going to do it. So
okay, good.
But it's just
good. I hope that's true. I appreciate those nuns for
the higher levels of educational attainment and linguistic complexity in early writings were associated with higher cognitive reserve. So you have a cognitive reserve just from getting an education and learning things. And if that isn't an advertisement for the Brain Candy podcast, I don't know what is.
That is so true. We're
Brain
saving
Candy
lives
podcast,
over here.
preventing you from cognitive decline, creating a higher cognitive reserve so that you don't suffer from the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Since 2015. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Well, that is great. And I hope it does
Use our
encourage
codes.
people. Yeah. Keep us in business, Kay. We
Keep
got
us in
brains
business.
to feed
Right.
over here.
I mean, that feels very hopeful to me.
Yeah, that is good news. And I could use some because it does scare me. Doesn't it scare you?
And the study says some nuns who had significant Alzheimer's pathology in their brains showed no cognitive impairment during their lives, suggesting that the brain's ability to compensate for damage plays a crucial role in the clinical manifestation of dementia.
Okay.
That is very
great.
this is very promising for us.
Yeah, it is.
Not so much for the dummies out there. Sorry.
No, they're screwed.
Like if you're just playing video games and rotting your brain and not learning anything, not all video games, but a lot of them.
Good luck to them.
I'm saying it's like it's not thinking, it's reacting.
It's just like any other part of your body. You got to exercise it.
Yeah.
That's
you got to
it.
make it useful.
Yep.
And you got to use that brain.
Wow, thanks for the good news, Sarah. Usually your good news reports I roll my eyes at.
I know, but I saved this one because I'm like, this is going to, like, all of the other fears that you have and all the other stories that you have saved up that we're going to talk about, I'm sure, next episode.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, you can just hold on to the, I don't know, knowledge or understanding that if you work your brain, you will have a cognitive reserve that can be very beneficial in preventing
like
these
a little
symptoms.
buffer.
Yes, a buffer.
Well, and, one of Sarah's greatest hits as a therapist is like about teaching people that, some things you can control and some things you can't. So this would be an example of like when you see things that may be of assistance preventing an illness, you can work on that. And then it's always a roll of the dice.
Well put.
Well,
Absolutely.
I learned from the best.
Well, thank you. Yes, that is exactly it. That is something you can control. You can't control your genetics. You can't control if you may be predisposed to that, but you can control growing your brain and
exercise your brain.
Exercising your brain and like writing. How you write. That's why my mom would always say that is such an important skill, and it's the thing that she cared about more than anything else. She's like, I don't care if you fail at math. I don't care anything like that. I just care that you have
to be literate.
Good writers.
Yeah. Well, and that comes from being a good reader.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is all connected, that reading and writing.
Yeah, so pick up a book, man.
Join our book club.
Get a library card.
Yeah. I love the library.
It's the best. It's a happy place. Is that one of the places that makes you poop?
That was so funny, but no, it's the record store for me, which they don't have anymore. But
I think there's a lot of people like
it
me
is.
That, yeah.
It's a
as
thing.
soon as you get in there, you just like get so excited. You got to drop a deuce. I think for me it is like you just like
you have to poop every time you go to the library.
Same as a music store. I'm just telling you.
The music store is always what did I'm like, why? And there were studies about why that happens. I can't remember what they are, but
I would love to hear other places where people like that are totally inexplicable. Like when they go to Macy's.
It might be like that. For some
maybe. Depends on what you're into. I'll tell you what I'm into, and that's honey love.
Yes.
Ooh, doggy.
Yep.
Did you take any of those to camp?
Well, no, because I don't want to
probably
get
too hot, huh?
And I don't want to get sap on them. They're pine trees. Like everything
dust.
that I came back with has sap on it now.
Are you serious?
Yes, because I'm like sitting out in the woods and I'm under a bunch of pine trees.
Nature is so dirty.
Right, but I'm saving those for every time I go. Not saving, I use them all the time. But those are my go-to travel pant. Those are the airport pants, and that side pocket is perfect for a passport.
Oh, that's true.
It's the perfect size. Yeah. And I always am like, where is it? Where is it? On my body.
It's
right
like
there.
a holster.
It is.
Their clothes are super high quality. The shapewear, the actual clothing, Perfect for working out, going to the gym, or running around. You can even dress it up. You look so cute. They have a dress that'll keep you sucked in and looking great and feeling great. All their stuff is the kind of thing that I said earlier in the show where it lasts super long time. It's not like garbage throwaway stuff. Really good stuff. You can keep going with your stretching New Year's resolution like Sarah or whatever it is that you're trying to work on. Honey Love is not just supporting women, it's empowering women. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market. Save 20% off at honeylove.com/braincandy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/braincandy to find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style with bras that empower your lifestyle of flexibility. Sarah's like Gumby. She knows what's up.
Yes. Got to stay limber. Got to stay flexible. Yeah. I've been very inspired, speaking of, by the Olympics. And I will be going this afternoon to the pool.
No way.
I signed up as a part of the Water Polo Masters program, which is like water polo for people over 18. And
that is
they
adorable.
have an LGBTQIA plus team, like all-inclusive team called the Squid League. And I have joined the Squid League.
I love it.
And so I'm
She's
going
pulling
to go
out
to
her
my
queer credentials.
Right. They have their first practice, not first practice, but they have practices on Tuesdays, Thursdays. I could go tonight, but I feel like I need like a little warm up in the
Are
pool
you
first.
telling me they're going to do like, you're going to play other teams?
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
That is hilarious. I would kill. I'm going to fly out there just for a game.
They do.
That is awesome.
They have like events that you can sign up for, and they have they call it a grown-up swim meet, and it's super cute how they say they're like you could compete in up to 5 events if you're just somebody who wants to like get back out there and feel what it was like to compete.
That's really cool.
And I was like, okay, I might just do the
I think you
grown-up
should.
swim
That's
league,
really
and
cool.
then I could show people your girl still got it.
Yeah, she's got it. And you know what? I bet you everybody that does that is like the nicest person you're ever going to meet.
I got
no
the idea
way.
when I went to Pride and I saw they had a float. They had, and I was like, they're water polo players.
They have floats.
I gotta join this. And so I looked it up, and I was so excited to
That's
know
really
that,
cool.
And it's like $6 a practice to come like join.
I can see why the Olympics had that effect, though, because if I never played sports, but if I had and I was watching people play them at that level, you just want to be out there and
oh my God. It's
give it
so
a whirl.
Exciting. It's so exciting. And watching Flavor Flav like take the U.S. women's water polo team under his wing and like
that could have been you, Sarah.
Suze, don't I know it?
I mean, for real. Why'd you let go of that polo dream?
Because I didn't play in college. I went instead and went to England and studied abroad. And I went to junior college instead because I was like, I got to get out of here. And then I still played at the like intramural collegiate team in college at the junior colleges. But I really do think like a lot of we had a couple Olympic swimmers and a few Olympic water polo players at my high school. So it could have been like,
man.
And I was the captain of that team.
I know,
like,
you were killing it.
In Thousand Oaks. So.
Didn't you have like a nickname or something? Like something Rice?
Well, they would call me Barracuda. That was like, because
really?
my friend Ashley, it started as like Sarah, then Sarah Bear, then Barracuda when I got in the water. And then when I made a goal, they would say, nice Rice, do it twice.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Nice Rice, do it twice. I mean, these are your people.
These are my people, right?
Wow.
It was great. And like
good
such
for you,
a
Sarah.
great community. I just loved it. So I feel like that in
You're
Denver with a bunch of
badass leses.
Yeah.
What's better?
I mean, hello.
I mean,
that's like where I'm going to find love. In the pool.
Obviously.
In
the pool.
Love in the deep end.
In the locker room.
Yeah.
Love in the deep end.
That'll be on our wedding card or something like that.
I hope so. And if nothing else, you'll, get a lot of people listening. That whole team's going to be brainiacs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That'll be really fun.
Yeah.
And
that's
new friends.
Cool.
It'll be great.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm getting out there. I'm going and living life. But I have another sports story for you, kind of sports related. I read an article, this was a couple weeks ago, that was in the Atlantic, and it was titled, How Sports Got So Whiny. Did you see this?
Oh, no.
Okay. I think this is a hot take, but not really a hot take. I totally agree with it, but maybe a hot take on how sports are whiny and what that is doing for kids, for sports.
Tell me about this whiny problem.
So it talked about how we are talking to the referees, the kind of attitude that parents have when they're on the sidelines.
Oh, that's the worst.
Article said that it's creating a generation of aggrieved kids who have learned from their heroes to feel entitled and to complain about every call. That is kind of part of watching sports, and sometimes people lean into it. Like it becomes like this thing of like, oh, we're going to yell at the ref, like, oh, bad call, ref, and like what that actually does and what that is really teaching kids. We don't think about that ever. And it does feel like baseball, like everybody likes to get mad at the ref. What do you think?
Yeah, but I guess I'm going through my little file cabinet in my head.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, the times when you watch it, it's quite entertaining, like John McEnroe.
Yeah. When they yell,
like that.
Right. We get entertained by it.
Especially when it's evident that they were unfairly penalized or there's a bad call or something.
Yeah.
But is this article arguing that it's almost just assumed that people are going to fight every call?
Yeah, that we're seeing more and more of that, and that when they do, it teaches a disrespect of authority figures and a disdain for authority figures.
Do you know who is the author of this article?
Yeah, Devin Gordon or something like that.
Okay. Not familiar.
I think Devin Gordon.
It sounds like a conservative
That's
take.
what I thought. That's what I was thinking at first. And
which, you that's usually where people get mad at me is occasionally I have a take that's pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And that's when I usually alienate our listeners.
And when it starts, it feels like that, but when you zoom out, you see that it's really not a conservative take. It's when you look at the study or the review of mistakes that athletes make, athletes miss about half of their shots. I think this was looking at basketball, I'm sure. And most umpires are about 95% accurate. But we give the players this free pass to make mistakes and allow that. And we don't do it to the umpires. And the author argues that if we love sports and love the game, then we have to start treating the umpires like we do. And it made me think of, in a way, like everything does, it made me think of reality television and how it makes you, I don't know, kind of ask yourself, how does my behavior as a participant, a viewer of this sport, contribute to the problem? In the same way, when you watch reality television, how does me getting obsessed over the ridiculous fights on Real Housewives and scandals and stuff actually contribute to the problem?
As you know, I'm on a 30 for 30 journey where I'm trying to watch them all.
Yes.
And I talked last time I had an episode about that convicts versus Catholics.
Yeah.
Which was about Notre Dame and how that was mostly about the class and race stuff and whatever. But there was a part of the episode that was really compelling where they replayed one of the important plays in the game for the coaches and in their interviews, and they let them watch it, and they hadn't seen it. They lived it, but they hadn't seen it because back then there was no instant replays, and it wasn't like it is now where you can just watch it 50 million times if you want. And you see that there was a bad call, the wrong team won basically, and they were just seeing it at that moment, and it was so fascinating to watch people be able to be an umpire in that moment. Yeah. And how I just never really thought about how that instant replay feature that we're now able to do, it seems odd that it hasn't made human refs redundant.
Right.
Like, why are we still relying on the humans?
I think maybe you haven't gotten to it yet. It might be a 30 for 30, or it was just some other documentary that I saw. But this is a question that is asked, especially in baseball.
Right.
And that the argument is that it's really just for the
tradition or something?
Yes.
Wow.
And then when you add we treat them like shit, why are we holding on to a tradition that teaches
Makes
a disrespect
people
of authority figures?
Yeah.
And how we kind of do have to look at the purpose of a ref. If we love the game and love those elements of the game, then we have to act like it.
Wow. I would not want to be a ref, I gotta say. It sounds like terrible.
Absolutely not. Do you remember I think it was in New Jersey, where they were having a problem with all of the parents yelling at the refs. So they made it a rule that if you yell at the ref, you then have, to the point, then you have to become the ref, and you have to ref for the next 3 weeks or something. And it changed behavior real quick.
Yeah. That's
nobody actually wanted that job.
Okay, but that just for fun.
Yeah.
What kind of person do you think becomes a ref? A piece of shit. If you're listening and you're a nice ref, I apologize.
I think
that's the impression.
Person that
mall cop.
It does have mall cop vibes, but it also could be like
Dwight Schrute. Oh my God, I'm a ref.
Or me, like a rule follower. I could absolutely see myself becoming a ref for high school water polo.
I could see this for both of us.
Absolutely could.
Right.
Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute could both be refs of
totally.
And you'd be annoyed at both of them. And I would do a lot of the point and flick of the finger, you're out of there move, because you get to do a lot. Everybody gets red carded and ejected all the time in water polo. That's a thing. It's kind of like hockey, where if you have a foul, you go into a penalty box. And oh my God, all the time I'd be like,
in England they call it the sin bin.
Oh, that's way more
Isn't
fun.
that fun? I know. I don't know why we don't do that.
Sin
that's
bin.
Adorable.
Well,
sin bin.
Separation of church and state. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Good answer. But yeah, man, I get it. But what about if the ref is wrong? Does the article address this problem that actually does happen?
We have to be just understanding that people make mistakes sometimes. And that's kind of where they bring up the athletes miss about 50% of their shots. Error rates for athletes are allowed. But it does feel like more is on the line, obviously.
Well, and they never act like they're unsure. They always act like it's obvious and
Yeah, especially the baseball ones. Baseball refs are just, they love to get really into their, really into it. There's a lot of big hand motions.
Well, I don't know if you saw the clip from the Olympics of Coco Gauff playing tennis, and there was a big problem.
Ooh, no, tell me.
Well, I only read it, and I have trouble picturing it. I should watch the video, but evidently she had, the other player had served, and before the ball had actually landed, a ref called it out, and then within that microsecond, Coco sort of stutters to is she going to try to get it or not? But they called it out, and then I guess whatever choice she made was the wrong one, and then it was not actually out, and she basically lost the match or the game.
She listened to the ref maybe, and it was out, but it really wasn't out, and so she lost the game because she listened to the ref.
Yeah, it informed whether she did it or not. And then she tried to appeal it and cried and was really upset, but it didn't change anything. And I would be mad too.
I would be so mad.
Right? I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. But
my God.
It would keep me up at night.
Absolutely.
Replaying it.
Oh my God.
Right?
There's so many things in
when you
the Olympics like that. Yeah.
Water polo or other sports, did you have stuff like that where you would kind of go over all of it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was more for swimming and those moments, because you can really pinpoint the moments in a race where you didn't get off the block fast enough. You didn't flip turn fast enough. You didn't take the breath at the right. And it's more individual, that you can really look at here's where I know I made a mistake. There's one swimmer this Olympics. I think she's from the U.S. and it was during the relay, where they're doing butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. And when she went from breaststroke to backstroke, or backstroke to freestyle, whatever it was, she turned over a split second. Like, you could only see it in a freeze frame. But she turned over, so she touched the wall when she was slightly turned, not fully on her back, and they disqualified her from the whole race, and she was like third or second.
I can't.
I could, like, and you have to wait 4 more fucking years to try again?
No.
Kill me now. Oh, my God. I couldn't sleep. Every Olympian needs a therapist.
I'll say in like meditation lessons and stuff.
Like, so much work. When I heard, oh my God, what is her name?
Simone Biles.
Yes, thank you. Simone Biles. I almost said Gabby, but that's from before. Simone Biles, she spoke to her therapist like the morning before she competed. I'm like, yes, I love that.
I can see why.
For the therapist and for her. Mm-hmm. That is like exactly what you need.
Yeah, because so much of it is mental. Everybody knows that about sports. I mean, it's definitely not just some sort of physical situation.
No.
And I don't know why it's not, but it is not.
Yeah.
It's freaky how much your brain is in the driver's seat when it should be like, like when she turned. That should be muscle memory. Like but it's not because your brain's like in overdrive.
Right. Yeah. And all that adrenaline, there's so much stuff going on there. I have so much respect for all of those athletes.
Love those Olympians.
I really do. Yeah. And it's like the year of like the nerdy Olympians and the like women being all different sizes and being gold medal winners, and just like, and even men and women in the participants, like even number. Like you think we would have this, but and like skateboarding's crushing it. Like, so it's like, this is so cool. I did notice, however, I've been watching a lot of the more obscure sports and like things that you don't really ever see in the mainstream. So many sports are the exact same sport in a different environment or with a different tool. Field hockey, water polo, soccer. It's just like handball was the same. It's basically get this ball into a net with the same number of people. And do I bounce the ball? Do I carry the ball? Do I use a stick to hit the ball? Am I treading water while I throw the ball? Is the ball on the ground or is it in the air?
It's so funny.
It's the same sport.
These are all derivative.
I was saying that. And then I was like, do we need this many? And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't want to play handball. I'm not running anywhere. I'm going to play water polo. So yeah, we do still need all those different sports.
Yeah.
But they are all the same sport.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, we're not reinventing the
We
ball.
are not. We are. And I was like, well, you can't really get rid of it. I do understand that we got to have all of them.
Yeah,
I went through this whole thing, probably 6 hours of me thinking this over, of like listing all, and then I even like asked ChatGPT.
Here?
I did that, and I even asked ChatGPT. I was like, what other sports fall into these categories? It was like this one. I was like, ice hockey. Didn't even think about that. There's the frozen water. I'm like, damn, it is every fucking sport.
But that means you'd be good at all of them, probably.
Probably. That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that is
we'll
true.
See.
Well, I've totally enjoyed watching it.
It's so much fun.
So fun.
Yeah. And like it's like the only time where I am like cheering USA.
I know, right?
Like the only time the American flag doesn't seem like, I don't know.
At Lincoln's was trying, you know how you try to be like different when you're a kid?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to root for Morocco because I like their soccer team. I'm like, no, you're not. No, we're not doing that.
I love that he's rebelling by rooting for Morocco.
I'm like, well, you're in for a really long couple weeks because you're not going to get any medals, okay? Fucking loser.
That's so funny.
USA.
Yeah, he just cheered his face. USA. Paint red, white, and blue. Just all day
It's like
long.
he didn't get that, like, this is the one time when we're all on the same page here.
Right.
This is the only thing that unites us.
God, kids. They're gonna do that. That's you know what? He's at that age. I love that.
I mean, I persuaded him, but I was like annoyed.
Yeah. I'm like, you get it, Lincoln. You cheer for whatever team you want. Okay, what other stories do I have to tell you? This was interesting. I don't even know where all this... I think I heard this on NPR and then gathered some more information on it. But I have some facts on friendship to share.
Okay.
And so a few different studies on friendships and... just some like helpful information that kind of put things into perspective for me. Because I feel like in this digital age, with everybody having like thousands of friends sometimes on social media, there's this idea that we should have a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
That there should be like this huge like social network that's so gigantic. And that's really not the case when we break it down. So there was one interesting study that looked at it was in 2010, and it looked at the exchanging of holiday cards, and it looked at how many people are really in our social network on average from the exchanging of holiday cards. And what would you say is the average number of like? And also, I should say this includes like couples and children. It's not like one family is one. It includes like the people that would be within that family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I would say like 200 or 300.
Oh, okay. It's 150.
Okay.
150 people that you maybe like know the name of or like have some connection to. Maybe you work with them. But even in your answer, like we think that it's like other people have these bigger social networks, but they really don't.
Well, I guess because the metric is interesting because people that send holiday cards tend to be a certain kind. Well, first of all, it's only fucking women. That's who's doing this. It's the wives and the moms and the whatever.
I have never, ever in my whole life ever received a holiday card from a man.
Oh, right. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? I would love to hear from our listeners. If you are a male
maybe Modern Dad or something.
And I can like think of like a few who are like, but I
mean, for real, if my husband was in charge of stuff like this, no one would get a birthday present, a Christmas present, a card of any kind, or an RSVP.
Why are they this way?
There would be no dental appointments happening, Like they just, I don't know if it's like the chromosome or...
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But it's probably, socialization. We are trained to be conscientious.
Yeah.
But anyway, people that send, especially the picture ones.
Yes.
It's going to be somebody who's probably a little more extroverted in the first place.
Yeah.
So the number may be inflated just on that.
Yeah.
Because, like, introverts are fucking just with their cats and calling it a day.
And there might be less. But that was from the...
Do you send holiday cards? Like...
I have. Yeah. I usually will send... I'll like, write out cards. Like,
I know you do.
But even... There's probably, like, 25 people where they'll get, like, a holiday card. Mm-hmm. It's just... But I haven't done one with... I've only done one with, the picture on it, like, one time. And it was when I was really young.
How old?
Like it was my first boyfriend. Like we were like living together, but we were together for a few years. But
is it the one I know?
Yeah,
the one I went to Chili's with.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys, what kind of photo was on there? Or was it no photo?
No, it was a photo. It was just like us like inside of an ornament or something on a Christmas tree or something like that. It was a cute one. It was like subtle, but
Do you think you still have one of those?
Probably, actually.
Wow.
I might. I could search through.
Get that out of the
box.
time capsule. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you just were like, we're in a relation, and let's spread the word.
And I think we had just
Happy
moved
holidays.
in together, so it was like update
you
the
were
address.
feeling like domestic.
Yeah. We had a dog together. It was like felt like that's what you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Sarah. I can't even picture it.
Yeah. And now I'm like. I don't care.
If you did send a picture or a holiday card picture, what would it be? Something funny or spooky?
It would be something funny. Like when Eli and I did the photos, the ghost photos, where we took. I wanted that to
was
be our
classic.
Christmas card, and
You
I
didn't
thought that
like
would be
it?
really funny to send.
It
We just
would've
didn't
been.
got around to it, didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a funny thing to send, like us dressed as ghosts for Christmas.
I do think
Have a
people
very
kind of
spooky
crave.
New Year, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
I think that yeah.
I have
Keep
a
that in
friend
mind.
who picks the worst photo that her family has taken for the year and sends that on her Christmas card. Shout out to Amanda. That is my
Do you think they
favorite
try
card
to make it bad?
receive. No, it's just like the
kid looks away and the
like,
dog runs through.
Yeah, or
whatever.
it'll be like the selfie they took in the car, but somebody's in the middle of a sneeze or whatever, reaching back, and like one
I
child's trying to
see.
move their head out of the way, and
Yeah,
it just
that's
like
funny.
is not. It's like the not posed, just worst picture of the year, and it's always fun to
Yeah.
see like what's it going to be.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, when it was younger, it was like the kids temper tantruming while they were trying to take the nice picture or something. And then we're like, yep, just go with that. And it was always fun to.
I mean, it's funny that people even still do it because it's antiquated now that we have
Right.
social media.
Right.
Like everyone knows what you look like and what you've been up to all year. It's not
Yeah.
like it used to be where it was actually,
I do like getting the letters of the updates of people's lives, though.
oh, yeah, if I like them to roast them. You genuinely want to know?
Yeah, I just
Like,
think it's like cute. I like
about
imagining it.
Chloe's
and
honor roll or whatever.
yeah. I
Nobody
like it.
gives a shit.
Yeah. Well, Aunt
Except
Sarah
Sarah.
does. Aunt Sarah does. So keep sending them.
Sarah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you genuinely want to know.
Yeah, I do.
That's real nice.
I do. But you're better at checking in on the regular with people. So maybe that's
Yeah,
it,
for
too.
you, it's like a real surprise.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, they moved. Cool. You know, oh, you had
That's
another kid. Awesome. I think that's it. That might be a little of it. You're better at just keeping up those.
Okay.
Yeah. Some other things that that friendship facts that were in this article I read. Most Americans trust about 10 to 20 people. And from 1985 to 2004, the number of people that we would say are close confidants decreased from 3 to 2.
Oh, no.
That's a big one.
That really is.
Right.
33%.
So, like, what does that mean? It's almost like our and the article said that we have these vast networks but smaller inner circles. That
Well, do you think that when they say trust, do you mean like with a secret? Or just like
they didn't
wonder what they
specify.
mean?
But people that they would say, "Do you trust these people?"
Well, there's so many different kinds. Like to watch
Right.
my dog, to watch my kid, to tell a secret to drive me home.
They could be all different, right?
Yeah.
But maybe,
all right.
like, I would say just following that Brene Brown's acronym for trust.
What'd she say?
Braving. Have you heard that before? BRAVING? Where in order to trust somebody, we have to have boundaries, reliability, accountability. They have to be a vault and hold our secrets, like information. They have to have integrity. N is...
You're doing really well with this acronym.
I can't remember what N is. NG is generosity.
I mean,
And
those are good.
If you don't have all those,
values.
you can't really trust a person. What the hell is N?
Well, I mean, that would really reduce the number if you
Right.
needed all those things.
Now it's killing me, and I'm going to
How
have
many
to
would
find
you
it.
say you have? You have a lot because all those camp people are so nice.
Yeah. N is, non-judgmental. I can't forget that.
Well, count me out.
Yeah. Susie's like, well, I'm roasting them. So, no, you are very non-judgmental with me. You are accepting of who I am, and I would say I probably have like 10 to 20, yeah.
That is a lot
10,
of people.
maybe 10 that I could really trust.
Wow, you must attract nice people.
1, 2, yeah, I would say about 10, Yeah.
Mine is significantly lower.
Well, you got one.
I sure do.
And I
there's
think
no
a lot
doubt
of
about I'm
brainiacs I
braving
would
with you,
trust.
man.
A lot of the brainiacs definitely fall into that category for me and have shown me those
Yeah.
things. So I think if you include brainiacs in there, that probably gets boosted up to a few more too.
Dang.
Because I would,
I'm
don't
glad
you
I'm
feel
hanging
like?
out with you. I feel like I'm getting the benefits of this.
Yeah, but I'm also over-trusting, and I also give people the benefit of the doubt, and that comes around to bite me in the ass all the time. So take all that with a grain of salt, would ya?
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're right to trust them.
Yep.
It just means you do. You do.
Yep.
That is really funny, Sarah. You're too nice for this world, I'm telling you.
Too nice, you know. Okay, what else? I thought this was interesting, too. It takes 50 hours of socializing to go from acquaintance to casual friends.
Wow,
and then 40 more to become real friends, and 200 hours to become what people would consider a close friend.
Holy smokes.
200 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
That kind of explains why when you go to summer camp with somebody, you're like, these are my best friends for life.
Yeah.
We're
And
already
the
close
challenge.
friends. And the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those kind of environments, why if you spend that much time and you
That is so
connect,
true.
you are going to fast track your way to real friends or close friends.
Probably also, and of course at school, you know, growing up, and then when you're an adult, unless you work with someone, you're not like around them even that much. So
right.
it probably
to
is
get
harder.
to those numbers, it would take a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's why you probably feel more like acquaintances with people that you hang out with all the time at work, because you just haven't gotten to those numbers yet.
Yeah.
You need a outing. You need a hiking trip.
We made
8 hours.
friends with some couple, his family on Lincoln's lacrosse team, and it was just we just went over their house, and I was like, I am not like I couldn't tell you the last time I went to someone's house that like I really didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
It made friends.
And I was like, I don't even know. I'm definitely not going to be a pro. Like, I don't think I am cut out for it anymore.
What
like,
was
I'm
it
not
like? Were you
normal.
nervous? What was it?
I just felt like these people are going to regret this because
No.
I really
You're so
did.
fun to hang out with, and so personable and chatty and inquisitive.
I guess I just felt out of practice with like a
I think that's
formal?
a good thing to talk about, and good thing, you know, to be open about and vulnerable about on here, because I think people listen to this show and have the assumption that you and I just go out there and like crush it in all social situations and things aren't hard. But that is so far from the truth.
We do have an advantage because people feel like they know us often, or you know, they are familiar with us, or maybe have a sense that like we're okay because they know we're public figures or something.
Yeah.
But that does not translate to how I feel going into it.
Right.
Because I don't know them.
Right.
And I know that I am weird. And I'm just thinking, these people are going to regret this.
And it doesn't matter what other people think. How you go into it and what you're feeling is what affects how you show up and your experience of it. Mm-hmm. So it really is like, I think, valuable for people to see that we all have those feelings, and that you just kind of got to go through them and then get to that point where you're going from just socializing to acquaintances to casual friends.
Yeah.
And we
I
all
would
go through that
recommend
same journey.
I recommend it. And I also recommend inviting people over because...
Wow. Look at that, folks. Susie is talking about how she wants to invite people over and go to people's houses. She may just venture out of the bunker. This is big news.
Here's why. So you know how when you go to a dinner party or whatever, and then the best part's the drive home?
Yeah.
Can you believe she wore that top? Or whatever it is. And that's a gift. And I also think it's such a good lesson to teach kids that you can love somebody, or, you know, like some family or couple, whatever, and still like joke about oddities or behaviors, and show that it's like normal. You're sussing things out. It's all about like regulating. And at the end of the day,
you're showing acceptance and love.
Yeah, and
them.
you love them anyway.
Yeah.
I always say to Adam, that person's a character, and boy, do I love a character.
Yes.
Because even if it's not like ideal, it's great. And then if you have people come over your house, you know that you're giving them a gift of that car ride. When they go home, they can talk shit about you.
Yeah, all the weird things.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so funny.
It is so fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when we go out and then we take a freaking Uber home, and then it's like, can you believe?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is always
and that's the best part.
a minute. Mm-hmm. And it's really just processing the event you just had.
Yes.
And
you reflect on it,
yeah.
and you think, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
Stuff you didn't even think in the moment.
And then sometimes in those situations you can go, oh, well, yeah, I kind of understand why they were like that. Oh, yeah, their mom just passed away. And like you can become like empathetic even and more understanding in doing that. It's not just like I can imagine people listening being like, what? They're just shit talking, but it's not like that.
No.
It's not for
it's
that.
Processing.
Yeah. And I don't remember where I heard this, but it was someone talking about gossip or people talking about other people when they weren't there. And they said if you are willing to help or to, like, if you care for that person and if it is like a problem, you would be somebody who would offer support, then it's fair game and you're allowed to talk.
I agree.
If you're somebody who's just saying that and you wouldn't offer support, can't do that.
Yeah, it's just
different.
Shitty.
Now you're just being shitty and you're just, gossiping and talking shit.
I still do that, but I agree it's wrong.
But I think that those people, you would help out in those situations, whatever it is, you like friends, you'd always be like, I'm here.
I got you, boo.
I got you. Yeah,
you're right. But the bottom line is people are weird, including each of us, all
weird.
of you listening. We're all weird.
We're all weird. Yep.
Good work, Sarah.
Well, yeah, and I'll save the rest for... I'll give you one more because I just have to say it, and then it's just like a little story. But maybe I talked about this, about the people in Yellowstone who drove their car into the... Okay, no. So there was a I don't know, like a group of friends who were looking for like those, what are they called? Like thermal springs, like the hot springs.
Yeah.
And they got turned around and they drove their SUV into an acidic lake. And the lakes, because of whatever's happening in Yellowstone, what is it? Geothermal activity, or however they say it. Mm-hmm. It made it so the lake water was 105 degrees, and jumping in would be like jumping into hot vinegar. And luckily they got out in time, but they still, I think it's like you feel like almost like a chemical burn on your skin.
Lord.
They drove right in there. And I did not know this, that Yellowstone has 10,000 hydrothermal features in the park. So
I think they need some guardrail features or something.
Yeah. So
what the heck?
And this is something that like most people don't even know. They think about, stay away from like the wildlife, but also stay away from those geysers, because the geysers release boiling water.
I'm telling you,
water.
The more I hear about
hot
nature,
enough to kill people. In fact, hot water is the #1 killer of people in Yellowstone.
What?
People are dying.
Hot water.
From these thermal explosions, these geyser explosions. People get too freaking close to it because they don't realize that the water coming out of there is hot and often acidic and boiling, and then they die. #1 cause of death.
Wow.
There you go.
Darwin Awards. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Wow. That is crazy. Stay home, people. It's a jungle out there.
Stay safe. Yes.
Stay safe. Thank you for listening and supporting us. We love you.
See you next time.
Bye.